Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm Asa and I have another great 3D printing project for you today. One of the reasons I got really into 3D printing originally was because of functional prints. It's really nice when I need a part or something fails, I can build replacements on my 3D printer. Of course, I like decorative prints, a lot of my content is purely for decoration, but one of the great values of a 3D printer for me is functional prints and functional content. So today I'm going to share 5 functional prints that I've designed and printed and use every day. If you want to make some of these yourself, or if you want to start with my design CAD files and modify them for your own projects, I'll put everything you need in the video description. Like almost everything I do, I publish these for free. And if you like these type of videos, please subscribe so you catch the next one. First, I have these fully parametric magnetic labels that I designed in OpenSCAD. The design I made is really flexible and I hope you use it if you're interested. At the end of the video, I'll spend some time explaining how you can use OpenSCAD to modify these for any size, shape, text. You can use round, rectangular, or no magnets. Personally, I use these on my Craftsman tool chest. I prefer magnetic labels over permanent ones or stickers because I tend to reorganize and rethink my tools pretty regularly, so this way I can move them around. These are printed in 2 colors with a simple filament change. You don't need a multi-material upgrade or a multicolor printer for these. All you have to do is change the color by layer height in your slicer program. I'll explain that at the end of the video a little bit, and I have a whole separate video on this topic. Next, I made these bit holders for my DeWalt impact driver and DeWalt drill. I absolutely love these. I use them constantly. It's an excellent quality of life improvement. I made these for the DeWalt 20-volt products, but I've seen designs for Makita, for Ryobi, Milwaukee. I think these are available for basically all the major tool brands. I can't overemphasize how nice it is to have a bunch of regularly used bits on your bit driver or your drill. For DeWalt products, these screw in with a little M3 bolt, and I recommend using a drop of mild thread locker like Loctite. Also, a little pro tip while we're on the topic, I attach a big magnet to the belt loop holder, which is a really fantastic hack for drills and bit drivers. Third try. This will hold drill bits, screws, nails, anything that's not stainless steel. I really recommend dropping one of these magnets on your bit driver or drill if you haven't already. Next, I designed these box cutters. Now, these are box cutters, please be careful if you make your own. There's a little blade cover that fits in the handle, and the whole blade retracts into the handle. Other than the blade itself, these are 100% 3D printed with no supports, and they take 30 seconds to assemble. I really like these, and I've printed a half dozen. I have them all over the house, in my car, in my shed. It's nice to know I'll never have to buy another box cutter again. The fourth print is more of a category. I use 3D printing to organize a lot of my tools on my pegboard. For example, I designed and printed brackets to hold my DeWalt 20-volt tools and batteries. And on the pegboard behind me, I've designed holders for wrenches, screwdrivers, bit drivers. Like I said, everything's in the video description if you want to make your own. I really like my tool organization, as you can tell, and it's something I spend a lot of time thinking about. At the moment, I do prefer a pegboard over some of these fully 3D printed tool walls. Mostly, I just use off-the-shelf hooks and mounts for my tools, and then I can spend my time making designs where I want to improve things. Now, lastly is another category of functional prints. I love making fasteners and fastener adapters with my 3D printer. Here, I have a full set of metric nuts and bolts. I've also set the length to be parametric if you want to make your own with a different length. These are really great for prototyping or if you have some application where you don't need a lot of torque. These will not hold up to a lot of force or torque, but they're excellent for prototyping or using in builds where you don't need a strong nut and bolt. I also use these little fastener adapters regularly. With these, I can upgrade a standard hex nut or hex bolt to be a wing nut, to be a nut ring, or something else that I can tighten by hand. I use these all the time as well, when I want to be able to tighten or loosen something by hand without having to go get a tool. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll walk you through how to change the parameters on these magnetic labels. Otherwise, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you want more content on building, making, and crafting. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll finish up this video by explaining 2 things. First, how to use OpenSCAD to make your own parametric magnetic labels, and then I'll show you how to use PrusaSlicer to pause your print when you need to insert the magnets, and how to set up a color change so the label body and the label text are different colors. Start by going to OpenSCAD.org and go to Downloads. You'll need to download one of the development snapshots. As of mid-2023, when I'm making this video, I use an experimental feature called text metrics. It works quite well, but at the moment it was only included in the development snapshot. So download the version you need for Windows or a different operating system. Once it's downloaded, you should install it on your computer and launch OpenSCAD. If you haven't already, you'll need to download the SCAD file from Printables. If you haven't enabled text metrics, you're just going to see a bunch of garbage on the screen. I explain this in the comments of the code as well. You'll need to go to Edit, Preferences, and Features. This tab is only going to be available if you install the development snapshot. Scroll down to find text metrics, and then exit out of the window. Now, regenerate the model, and you'll correctly see the label generated. It's really easy to modify this OpenSCAD file to use your own text, to change the size of the label, and to change the size of the magnets that you have. I'll start by changing the text. And you can see it regenerates really quickly, and now I have a new label. On the back side, you'll see spaces for magnets. By default, I set these up with rectangular magnets. I'll include an affiliate Amazon link for these magnets in the video description, but you can resize this for whatever you'd like, and you can even use round. For example, let's say I've got a magnet that's 26 millimeters long, 6 millimeters wide, 4 millimeters high, and it's pretty easy to regenerate. Although in this case, I've used a magnet that's bigger than my label, so I'll need to make it a little thicker. There, now I have a nice thick label that's big enough for these imaginary magnets. You can also change the style to round magnets instead of square. And once again, it's really easy to regenerate this with round magnets. I added a little bit of logic so that it will add or subtract the number of magnets based on the size. For example, if I just have a label with ASA, it'll only use 2 round magnets. Or if I switch to square, it'll only use 1 rectangular magnet. Once you have your label customized in OpenSCAD, you'll need to render it by clicking F6. Then you can export this as an STL file. Next, I'll show you how to use PrusaSlicer to pause at the correct height so you can insert magnets, and then pause at a correct height so you can change the filament color so the body and the text are different colors. This is really easy in PrusaSlicer. So I've got my label here. I'm going to slice it with some default settings. Then I'm going to scroll through the layer height until I see the magnet space getting covered. You can see here, layer 20 is the last layer with space for a magnet, and then layer 21 covers it up. So I'm going to add a simple pause here in PrusaSlicer. To do this, find the layer you want, right-click this little plus sign, and click Add Pause Print. You can add text here as well to display on your Prusa's LCD screen. I typed in Insert Magnets. At this point, the print would pause and you insert your magnets. Then the next thing I'm going to do is find the layer height where the text appears. On this model, it's between layer 40 and 41. So what I'm going to do is click this little plus icon again, which will do a color change. Now I can double check my work by scrolling through the layers, and I see as soon as I start printing text, the slicer will prompt me to do a color change. And I can double check this as well in PrusaSlicer. I've got print, pause, and color change. This way I can print until there's a pause, I'll insert the magnets, continue printing to cover up those magnets, and then change the color for the text. That's all there is to it. Good luck, and I hope you enjoy printing. Thanks again.